Even though it's WrestleMania season, there's never not a good time to do a tier list of WrestleMania matches. I'm the Drab Czar of No Holds Barred and one half of the Viewer's Choice podcast here on the North-South Connection, Tim. And we've all seen our good, close, personal friend Aaron break down WrestleMania openers and WrestleMania main events and tier list them. And I couldn't be left out in the cold. I can't let him just have all the fun. So today I'm going to get a little specific, a little hyper specific rather, because there's not that many people, WWE superstars, that have the catalog of matches that this WWE Hall of Famer has. So by the end of this video, I'm going to look to go 27-0 on the 25-2 record of the Demon of Death Valley himself, Mark from Texas, The Undertaker. Now, before we get a ranking, be sure to like and subscribe and comment on what you think the greatest Undertaker match is in WrestleMania history. But right now, let's dig into it. So as you see, we've got the famous rank board. We've got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and F tier, because I feel like it's fair. Because I've always been an Undertaker guy. I've loved The Undertaker my entire life. Until recently, for other reasons, not in the ring. But Undertaker has been, he's one of my holy trinity of wrestling idols. Not idols, that's a bad word, but in any given moment, it's either Sting, it's The Undertaker, it's the Great Muta. And since the Great Muta doesn't have a WrestleMania match yet, and he won't now that he's had his final bye-bye, and Sting has a very forgettable WrestleMania match, we're going to go with The Undertaker. So, 27 up, 27 down. And I'm going to just rank this on like the Meltzer scale, match star, quality, what have you. It's going to be very much enjoyment level, very much how we handle things on Viewer's Choice, where must watch and must skip ability take into account. Obviously, like, good matches are good, but if a bad match is entertaining, it's good. And if a good match is boring, that is absolutely bad. So we're going to start with the beginning. Phenom versus Phenom. Undertaker versus Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And I think that this is a B tier match. I think it sets the tone for The Undertaker moving forward into WrestleMania. I think that with this, it gives him that name of the Phenom. Snuka is a stalwart during the rock and wrestling era. So having him kind of be one of the first guys to really like shine the spotlight on The Undertaker after his debut at Survivor Series months prior. This is a rather nice showing. For me too, we'll put him versus Jake from WrestleMania 8 in the B. I don't necessarily care for it, more so because of the finish, the ending where you've got the tombstone on the outside. I understand like protecting Jake and doing all of that stuff, but it's still a very enjoyable match. And Undertaker getting paired off with the really good oddities of wrestling. You know, Superfly, he is his own man at any given state. Jake, absolutely an enigma in and out of the ring. So for me, very solid B tier watchable WrestleMania matches for the Dead Man. There's no denying though that the match of the Giant Gonzalez at WrestleMania 9, that is a big miss for me. And I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to put what I think is The Undertaker's other F tier match, and that is the 2-on-1 match from WrestleMania 19 with the A-Train and the Big Show. Even a roundhouse kick from Nathan Jones can't save that either. So poor George, poor Big Show, poor A-Train. You guys get stuck in these doldrums at the bottom of the barrel, and best of luck to you. Not kind of being saved from the doldrums, but not by much. It is WrestleMania 11's Undertaker and King Kong Bundy. Obviously Taker's had his stretch with the $1 Million Corporation, Bundy being a part of that. But this is just a miss. Undertaker going through the monsters like he usually does. This matchup with Bundy, though, not it for me. I might be even overrating it so far as to put it in the C classification. But for me, I can't do it. Let me just look to see if there's anything else that I see that is C tier. And I'm actually going to go with the Hell in a Cell match with Big Boss Man at WrestleMania 15 in Philadelphia, home of WrestleMania 40 coming up real soon. Very excited for that show. I'll be there. Hopefully you all will be able to join the No-So as well when we get there in, look at my watch, like over a year from now. So that should be fun. Very curious to see how the landscape of WWE looks around that time. But the Hell in a Cell match from WrestleMania 15 is weird. The statute of limitations is up on spoilers. Boss Man gets hung. Kind of weird, man. Kind of weird. Really cool aesthetic with like the Brood showing up, but man, not ideal. Moving along to WrestleMania 12, I think The Undertaker and Diesel is a B tier match. I think this was a really solid matchup between two big men. It's gonna be hard. It's really hard to classify because Taker gets put up against three big men back to back WrestleManias, 12, 13, and 14. So it's real tough to go there. As I realized that WrestleMania, 14 was Boston, 15 was Philly. Yeah, I'm not wrong. How dare I question myself? But Undertaker Diesel was really solid. I think it might be Diesel's best WrestleMania appearance. And it's a really good opportunity for Diesel. And even though Diesel's on his way out, he's about to be Kevin Nash, part of the NWO. Undertaker like starting to settle into his I'm the guy right now phase, because all of this leads up to his match with Aaron's favorite Sid at WrestleMania 13. It pains me to not put this at an A, but I understand and appreciate the fan or the general audience not liking this match. But of course, the Undertaker mark in me before, I jokingly say this is the greatest Undertaker match in the history of WrestleMania. I know that not to be true, but I with all of that said, I think it's a B. I think it's just as good, if not better than the Undertaker Diesel match. A lot of it's in store. There's a lot of character work being done by the Dead Man in this match, especially with the return back to the Grey gloves for the match to really bring forth like a return to championship form Undertaker, where we haven't seen that since 1991 when he beats Hulk Hollywood, not Hollywood, but Hulk Hogan. Also in the B tier for me is Undertaker and Kane from WrestleMania 15. I could possibly even put this in the C tier, but I think that Undertaker and Kane from 20 is actually C tier. This is the one match that I enjoyed of the two of the Undertaker Kane matches. The story is there. It is absolutely like The Undertaker Kane storyline is one of the best stories they've told in WWE history. I mean, it's up there with Savage and Hogan. It's up there with the modern day Bloodline story that we had going on. But in ring, it didn't necessarily hit for me. And it's down. And then, of course, you fast forward to like 5 years from then at WrestleMania 20, Undertaker is transitioning away from the American Badass to returning to the Dead Man, and all of the crazy hokey stuff about unmasked Kane being afraid of the Undertaker now all of a sudden, and freaking out at the Royal Rumble and then moving forward, and it's just not a great look for Kane, in the match I think suffered. The first match that's going to crack the A tier is Undertaker Triple H. Their first match, the match that everybody wants you to forget, or at least the WWE wants you to forget before we get into the trilogy of matches in the mid-20s of WrestleMania. This match was awesome. A great match on a all-time great WrestleMania. This is a feel-good. This is like chicken soup for the wrestling soul match for me. These guys just put it all out there on a card that is obviously highlighted by Rock Austin 2. These guys, they do their best to move along and carry through. Undertaker's on a roll, baby. WrestleMania 18 with Ric Flair. This is the debut of the 10 count for WrestleMania matches. This match has no business being as good as it is. Flair has obviously, or had been before, gotten to where he wasn't as sure of himself as he was in previous iterations of Slick Rick. And so we're here with that, and it is just, it's really great. It's really great. Not S tier. I'm saving that for like rarefied air. I think there's certain matches you could probably say are F tier that aren't, and there's probably some matches that you think that are A tier that should be S tier. But for me, the really good and really bad need to really be really good or really bad. And so for me, Triple H from 17, Flair from 18, and Randy Orton from 21. All A's. I don't know if I like this match or the SummerSlam match from 05 more, but in regards to WrestleMania matches for The Undertaker, this is it, man. This is so good. It's a showcase for Randy. Undertaker still doing his thing, really on top of it. You can really see, even in like looking at what we've got tiered list so far, when The Undertaker makes the jump to, or away from the Dead Man to the American Badass at 17, is really when we start to see like match quality Undertaker show up. Just looking at the card, or looking at what we've got so far, 17, 18, 21, all pluses, and then taking a sneak peek at what we have left. We've got both Shawns, we've got 2 more Triple H's, we've got the Edge match, the Batista match. You know, there's a lot of good stuff moving forward, and a lot of bad at the very early part of his career. The casket match from 22, to me, that is a B tier match. Better than it should have been. Mark Henry getting that that Undertaker bump, getting in there. I like the fact that he wasn't afraid of the casket, went after the Undertaker, and as crazy as it sounds, I think the stretch with Orton at 21 and even Mark Henry at 22, since the streak becomes a thing, these two are viable contenders, viable threats. I mean, Mark Henry's on that Hall of Pain run. Like, it's something else. So, if you haven't watched this match back in a while, do yourself a favor, knock it out, and look to see what you think. Let me know in the comments section what you actually think of that casket match. Now, people are gonna debate me on this one, but literally, Undertaker goes on a string of just S matches for me. Batista, Edge, Shawn 1, Shawn 2, Triple H 1, and Triple H 2. I would put 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I would put all of those manias in a line. I lined up with each other and count them all. This is a great stretch of WrestleMania matches for The Undertaker. And this is where I think the bread of Undertaker being really great comes from, which is crazy to think that this is over 20 years into his career. You think back, the match with Batista's in 07, he debuts in 90. So we're looking at 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23 years for The Undertaker in the WWE, and he does not disappoint. You think 23, he's off the heels of the Royal Rumble victory, choosing Batista over Lashley and Cena, and then the matchup with Edge that was recently covered on the Place to Be podcast. I was a guest on that. Go back and listen to that in the archives on the Place to Be feed. And then Shawn Taker from 25. Oh, man. This match, 5 stars, 6 stars, 7 stars, doesn't matter. It's all-time great. And so is 26. They'll follow up the rematch Streak versus Career. It's so good. So solid, those two. The narrative telling between, for right or wrong, like, there is definitely something to be said that, like, the main event, or the matches from 25 through 27, or 28. Sorry, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So 25 to 28, that 4-year stretch has really been like the watermark for big match WWE in regards to how NXT guys perform. This is the Shawn Michaels masterclass of look at my hands and see how much damage I've done, or being really over the top dramatic. And you could even go so far as to say it really starts the WrestleMania before with Shawn and Brett, or Shawn and Ric Flair, but I think it really gets caked on heavy starting with Taker Shawn 1 and moving through to Triple H Undertaker 3, end of an era, Hell in a Cell, Metallica music, you know, that era, that match, those matches responsible for a lot of stuff. So carrying on, I've got CM Punk and The Undertaker a day. This is where Undertaker starts to lose a step. It's still really great. Still really great. I loved everything about it. But it's just not that S tier level. I would have liked it more if it maybe was for the title, but of course plans change. This is twice in a lifetime. I was actually at this WrestleMania. This was the in living color performance for Punk coming out. Undertaker walking through the souls, reaching up and trying to grab for him, I think. Or no, was this the graveyard? In either event, solid match, an A tier matchup. I suspect a lot of you are going to say, oh, this needs to go in the S tier. pump your brakes. For me, the ending of the streak, ugh, I already feel weird just putting it in B. I already feel weird. I feel weird. I don't like it. I'm gonna go B tier. Because while the moment is meaningful of 21-1, I still have that revisionist history, those glasses on, not these ones, but the other ones. And to me, this should have not been where the streak ended. And because it did, it's mired. WrestleMania 30, you got to make something big happen, so it's going to be Brock. Like, ugh, whatever. It's also unfortunate Undertaker gets hurt during this. Everybody who follows it enough knows the history with the Undertaker getting severely concussed, collapsing backstage, and Vince McMahon leaving WrestleMania in the middle of the show to go tend to the Undertaker, while Daniel Bryan wins the undisputed WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania 1. Moving on, Undertaker Bray. It's a C tier. I don't at me. The stuff is weird. Like, this should have been better. But Undertaker, and it's documented on the Last Ride series on Peacock or the WWE Network if you're watching it internationally. But ever since the match at 30, Taker felt like he had something else to prove. So he comes back at 31, and it's a solid match. But you can tell he's just not quite there. Not right where it is. And the story building up to it's good, but to me, that's a very skippable WrestleMania match. If you watch or listen to WWE War, they just covered WrestleMania 32, and this really, really long, unnecessary Hell in a Cell match with Shane McMahon. Shane jumps from the top, and that's really the coolest part. That's a C tier for me, dog. I don't like it. Undertaker Roman. I'm putting this in a B tier, but it's coming from C up to B, much like Brock Undertaker went from A and came down to B. This should have been the streak ender, not this. This probably would have been better if this didn't go the way that it went, because without this would have been better, this would have been better, and then by proxy this would have also been better. Again, I'm really putting like my wishes out there of what I think could possibly be true or untrue, but it's my tier list. Yeah. So, but Undertaker Roman, that's a B tier for me. Could have been stronger, was actually weaker, and is getting a bump. A tier, Undertaker John Cena. The build up to this was great. Cena being a fan, not having a WrestleMania opponent, the ref coming out and saying he's here. Cena hops the rail, books it, comes out, and then just gets dog walked by the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Like, it's the best usage of the Undertaker at that moment. So I loved everything about it. And then we get the Boneyard match. And I am very, very high on the Boneyard match. So much to say that the Boneyard match is an S tier match. Now, don't get me wrong. It's in the height of the pandemic. They had literally 2 weeks to figure out what they were going to do. But this cinematic match, this and the Firefly Funhouse match, absolutely off the charts. Didn't need to be as good as it was. And so kudos to AJ, kudos to the club, And big kudos to, I believe it's Jeremy Borash, who was there to like help put it all together. This was the epic last ride for The Undertaker. It was the biggest encapsulation of the dead man and the badass. And then, of course, and then there's Mark. Like, all of that stuff all put together. It's a great time and a great last showing for The Undertaker. So there you have it. There's the tier listing. Giant Gonzalez and the 2-on-1 is F tier. You've got Bundy, Bossman, Kane from 20, Bray Wyatt, and Shane McMahon at C tier. Snuka, Roberts, Diesel, Sid, Kane from 14. The casket match from 22. WrestleMania 30 and WrestleMania 33 at C, or at B rather. At A, you've got Triple H from 17. Ric Flair from 18, Orton, CM Punk, and John Cena. And then the S tier Undertaker WrestleMania matches are Batista, Edge, Shawn, Triple H 2, Triple H 3, and the Boneyard match. So of course, let me know where I went wrong. Leave it in the comments, and keep your eyes peeled on the No-So. We've got stuff dropping all the time, live or video feeds for all of your favorite podcasts, whether it's No Holds Barred or Wrestling Warzone or WWE War. Of course, me on the draft day episodes of No Holds Barred, where we draft your favorite or least favorite topics from here and everywhere else. But be tuned. Keep on the lookout. It's still WrestleMania season, so I'm sure there's more WrestleMania themed stuff left to come. So until next time, be good, everybody.